What's going on, everybody? This is Will Kotcher once again with my YouTube channel, The Sports Binge. As usual, as of the last few videos, this little segment is called Uncut Breathers, just very raw, just informal videos that I'll do, just to, like, whether it's breaking news or just something that I've had on my mind. You know, it's just going to be really try to make it quick to the point and just explain everything that I have. So, last couple of days, I've been really thinking about the Kevin Durant taking a pay cut to allow the Golden State Warriors to re-sign Andre Iguodala and Sean Livingston to the roster, really just to keep that continuity intact for the championship team. But there's a lot of people that really, you know, it struck a nerve with a lot of people that a millionaire will allow a billionaire to save money, so to speak, for his brand of the Golden State Warriors. And really on yesterday on Colin Cowherd's The Herd Show for FS1, Rob Parker stopped by and he really shared his displeasure with how KD took the pay cut. So I want to let you guys listen to that first, and I'm going to get into my thoughts momentarily.
The idea that Kevin Durant, who was the MVP of the finals, has to give up money to keep the team together, to bring the other guys back, Iguodala and
the backup point guard.
and Sean Livingston,
Yeah.
right? Steph Curry took his $40 million. You mean to tell me that Kevin Durant needs to help the owner of the Warriors, who's worth $1.5 billion, by taking less money? Why in the world would he take less money and not what he's valued at?
Well, you wouldn't be allowed to do that in baseball.
Oh, well, we already had that. You remember A-Rod was going to go to the Red Sox from Texas. Remember? And he needed to take a pay cut in order to make it happen. What happened? The union stepped in and said, no way, no how are you taking a pay cut, and you're not going to open up this can of worms. You're not going to have owners trying to weasel out of money that you've already guaranteed to sign, right, and take a pay cut. So it didn't happen. He wound up going to the Yankees. The same case here. Now, people might look and try to make Durant as this great guy. Oh, well, Kevin Durant, what a great teammate. He's saving money to bring other guys back and keeping the band together. But Kevin Durant, in reality, has hurt the other big-time players in the league. Now owners are going to come to LeBron James. Oh, LeBron, you got a sneaker contract. You don't need all that money.
Yeah.
Why don't you take less? And other stars. I didn't see now if Steph Curry would have said, hey, you know what? I'll split the difference with you. I'll take $5 million less. You take $5 million less. But did he do that? No, he took his $40 million. Why in the world has Kevin Durant been allowed to be bamboozled and tricked and fooled into this idea that he should be the one giving up money to help a billionaire owner? It makes no sense. And the other thing is, for fans, the Warriors just saved $20 million on the luxury tax. Is that trickled down to fans? Will tickets be cheaper next year, Colin? Will beer be cheaper next year? No. Nothing's cheaper. The owner keeps his money, his wealth. The owner keeps, the fans still get stuck with the bill, and everybody else gets a raise except Kevin Durant. It makes no sense.
So that's really, it was just a 2.5 minute video. He's, like I said, he was really sharing his displeasure with and he feels that Kevin Durant was bamboozled basically by the Warriors owner in taking less money, and he obviously brought up some really valid points in terms of, you know, the value of the player. They should get them as much money as they can, especially the owner. They always, because of their wealth already, their pre-existing wealth, they're going to get more money. You know, he brought up some points where, well, will beer be cheaper, where food would be cheaper, wherever the case may be, where tickets be cheaper. None of that's cheaper when your team is winning and they're winning championships. So basically, I wanted to make this video to really say, while Rob Parker and other people like that really made very valid and accurate points about the idea of money, I have to disagree with him on that aspect of Kevin Durant being quote unquote bamboozled. Because I actually had a conversation with a guy on Twitter yesterday. We actually got in a little debate on there under this video actually, and he was basically bringing up he was for the players getting as much money as they possibly can. Because I answered this video, I replied that, you know, a lot of people need to understand that guys like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Stephen Curry, they're not just regular players. These guys are superstar global brands. So not only are they making money from their basketball salaries, they're also making money from endorsements, shoe deals, whatever the case may be, and other commercials. So these guys are not, even though they can be on the surface level, they're leaving money on the table, they still are in fair shape financially. So I feel like, especially now that Kevin Durant won his championship, he wants to keep that going. You have to think about it. It took him 10 years just to get ring number 1. So with him in his prime, you have to believe that he's going to do whatever it takes to become more accomplished from a championship level. The guy I was debating with, he brought up LeBron James, that he said the main reason LeBron James left Cleveland to go to Miami back in 2010 was because Miami was a tax-free state. So, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but when he had that when they had the Big Three had that concert, was not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. Did that had anything to do with tax breaks? Did that have anything to do with Uncle Sam? Did that have anything to do with getting more money for what you're worth? I feel that he went there, and this is actually accurate. I feel that LeBron went there, call me crazy, he went there to win the championship. He had solid teams in Cleveland in his first 7 years of his NBA career. But when you have an opportunity to play with the third greatest shooting guard in NBA history in Dwayne Wade, and you have a perennial all-star power forward, Chris Bosh, who was averaging 22 and 10 through like a stretch of his career in Toronto, you put yourself in position to win those championships. So, this guy was really he was really stressing the point that, well, it's tax-free. He's making more money here in Cleveland. So why did he leave Cleveland? Why did he leave Miami to go back to Cleveland? And then he kept trying to get a little smart, saying that the roster in Miami was breaking down. So, and he was getting smart and said, "Did you see the 2014 finals?" Little did he know that he proved my point exactly by saying, and what I was saying, that he proved my point because despite the Florida lifestyle, the tax-free lifestyle, whatever we want to call it, despite all those perks, the ultimate moral of the story is that LeBron's team in Miami, they maxed out their potential as far as winning championships. D-Wade was breaking down, and in hindsight, as we could see, Chris Bosh, he had health issues. Obviously, we didn't see it at the time, but it looks like that was just inevitable. And then the roster was already old enough already. So when you look at Cleveland, who have Kyrie Irving, who was a young, talented star, and then on the roster they end up drafting Andrew Wiggins. Obviously, was traded, but that's another talented young guy. They have more potential to win championships in Cleveland at that point in time than in Miami. So you have and he had another question he was asking me that he gave me a scenario. Well, let's say Kevin Durant wins five more championships. Will he be considered better than Jordan? Well, I said by that time he will have 6 championships, so he will definitely be in the conversation, like if that were to occur. And he basically told me that was irrelevant because he gave me the scenario about barbershop talks that doesn't really mean anything. But I told him that also in those barbershops, the people would have said that had Kevin Durant took the money right now, he would have said they would have been called him selfish because he broke the team up, like really harming his chances to win the championship despite all the other stars they have on the roster. So and it caused me to think about, shout out to the Twitter account NBA All Access, the best basketball, hands down the best basketball account on Twitter. I'm not saying that for exaggeration or just to be a kiss up. This guy is unbelievable. The numbers, the analytics speak for itself. The reply speaks for itself. So I tagged him in a poll that I had. I had a question like, so are you upset? Are you guys upset about KD taking a pay cut for his teammates? And the options were yes and no. Just basic like that. As of right now, we still got several hours left to go on the poll, but as of right now, 64% of guys say no. So, once again, proving my point. So you have to think about it. People act as if billionaires making so much money is a new phenomenon. It's a new age phenomenon. It's nowhere near the case. Whether you're an owner of a company, you're always going to try to get the most money. Think about it at Walmart. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, they used to have all like the checkout areas. Then they started dwindling down. And nowadays you have the self-checkout. So they're trying to save as much money as they possibly can. So you have to do what's best for you in terms of whether that's getting another job or stuff of that nature, because they're trying to help their own brand. And some people might say, "Oh well, are you taking a pay cut at work so the job can win?" No, I'm not taking a pay cut, but I'm not worth $200+ million either. So I don't have that type of financial luxury. So he can, because of, like, going back to my original point, guys like KD, Braun, and Steph, they have that extra global platforms to really supplement any quote unquote deficit they have in their salary. So understand that people really do care about their legacies. Oh, and to bring up another point this guy on Twitter made was that, because I told him about, Carmelo Anthony and Kobe Bryant, neither of those guys took pay cuts. And I told him that Melo basically, he was stupid to take the money instead of going to Chicago with the better nucleus at the time. But instead he took the max deal, or 120, 130, whatever the amount was at the time. Kobe was different because I told him, one, he already accomplished his championships in his NBA career. Another reason was that a lot of people really got on Kobe Bryant for taking that $48-50 million in his last 2 years. Like he was getting paid, I think, $20-25 million in the last year of his deal, that 2-year deal. Nobody was coming to Lakers if Kobe was getting paid 25 cents. I don't care how you slice that. At the end of the day, they were not a winning product, so nobody was going to come anyway. When you accomplish that much, and then your team is garbage, get the money while you can. Melo, on the other hand, even though the Knicks made the playoffs in 2013, they missed it in 2014, and around that window, he had an option to go to Chicago to play with D. Rose and Jimmy Butler and Joe Kim. They had much better, like I said, much better nucleus, much better core of a team than what he had in New York. He chose to stay the money. He chose to pick the money, and he spent the last several years of his career in dysfunction. So, and he's another guy who has as a global brand, he has so many endorsements. So my point to you is that you have to understand that a lot of people really do care about their legacies. LeBron, he said he was chasing the ghost of Jordan. So forget Jordan's brand off the court. He's talking about Jordan on the court in terms of winning 6 championships. Like, looking at his resume, he wants to be looked at in that same viewpoint. That has nothing to do with tax breaks. That has nothing to do with Uncle Sam. That has nothing to do with, like, being an opportunist financially. So just let me know what you guys think. Where are you guys' heads at? Where are you guys' minds at on this topic? So you think I'm missing something? Just tell me. Just tell me what your thoughts on at the bottom on in the comment box on YouTube. So I just want to thank you guys again for just tuning in. Like I said, this is like some of these videos just uncut, just really straight to the point, not really polished. I just wanted to really get my point there out the way. So hope you guys have a blessed day and God bless.